Introducing a whole new form of racing to the best online racing simulation in the world. This is Dirt Racing on iRacing.com. Race online at some of America's most legendary dirt tracks, including Eldora and Williams Grove. iRacing is the premier online racing game featuring NASCAR, IndyCar, sports cars, and now World of Outlaws, the leading sanctioning body for dirt racing. iRacing is easy to use and features a centralized ranking system to make sure you have the best experience at any skill level. With a massive inventory of high-precision laser scan tracks and cars with an unmatched dedication to quality and detail, iRacing gives you the most authentic online racing experience available. Thanks to iRacing's dynamic track system, developed specifically for dirt racing, tracks change over the course of a race, just like your favorite dirt track on a Friday or Saturday night. From a slick racing groove all the way up to the cushion, iRacing's dirt tracks deliver non-stop racing action. Partnered with the World of Outlaws, iRacing is your source for the most authentic dirt racing experience available, featuring 4 brand new tracks and 11 new cars, including street stocks, Legends cars, late models, NASCAR trucks, winged and non-winged sprint cars, with much more on the way. Join the Dirt Revolution on iRacing.com and start slinging mud today.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to V8 Online's live coverage of the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series. We head for round 6 tonight at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. Jay Kennedy and Cameron Dance in the booth for tonight's race. And Cam, it should be a very interesting one. 2 pit stops for all the drivers and a very tight, twisty, fun track that the drivers absolutely love in these cars.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, very good combination of... I actually did the earlier race, and it was definitely a lot of fun. Very interesting circuit with it being more aimed towards getting a good exit rather than anything else. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how we go tonight with 2 stops.
Yeah, everyone's pretty much on the same pit stop strategy. At the moment, David Moore, the fastest driver, but only a 1/10 of a second separating the top 4 and half a 1/10 separating the top 3. It's very, very close at the pointy end, considering how tough this circuit is. I'm amazed at how close it is.
Yeah, it's actually very close at the moment from what I'm seeing, much closer than I actually thought it would be. So that's looking like it's going to be a good sign of what's to come in the race. And should it actually be this close in the race, I'm not going to be surprised if we actually see a couple of guys sending it up the inside at different corners, such as the final chicane and also the hairpin.
Yeah, we've seen in the past around this circuit, the Wall of Champions definitely has taken some victims, but probably we'll see similar tonight with the way that the drivers will tackle this course. Just seeing Mullen McMullen, he's finished, and Brenton Hobson's just gone to the top and taken an extra 1/10 out of both Moore and Harvey. So watching David Moore on screen, we'll see if he can improve. Doesn't look like he has on the second lap. So Moore at the moment in second. There are a fair few drivers who are yet to put in lap times. One of them being Dane Warren. It looks like he's had a little bit of a scrape on the wall. His first lap actually didn't count, so we'll see if we can keep an eye on the lap time from him. Oh, he's just clattered the wall big time, so that's done for him. Another driver who hasn't put in a lap time is Todd Parks, and oh, big moment for Parks. Lucky not to loop it around, and he's finished his lap, so he's had 2 laps that won't count. Thomas Hinds, another driver who is on his second lap, first lap not counting. Very aggressive through the chicanes. We'll see if he can get some time on the board, because it is a very, very tough track to start way back in the field and work your way through. Moves into 12th, so a good lap from him. And Kazuki Umeshima is going to get out there for one crack right at the last minute, so we'll see what Umeshima can do. 1:35.5, very, very quick time.
Yeah, it is. It's not slow by any means, especially for these conditions. So going to be interesting to see what sort of race this can turn to and whether Hobbo can actually convert that into a win.
Top 15 separated by under a second. Top 22, 2 seconds. And 27 of the 31 drivers in this field have set a lap time. Of course, we saw Parks and Warren not set a lap time. Daniel Williams also unable to set a time. And Umeshima, the only other driver who has not posted a lap time yet. We'll see if he can, because he'll make it home before the checkered flag will fly, but that's a bit deep into the hairpin. I don't think it matters what sort of time you do. Any time will be good enough. You just want to make sure that you get a time on the board. Not start back in the late 30s. Tell you what, that's a pretty good lap. It's gone to second. What a lap. Kazuki Umeshima. If he hadn't made that big mistake and lock up at the hairpin, wonder what that lap time would have been. As the clock hit 0, that is a fantastic lap time. We'll run through the grid. It'll be Hobson only 8/100ths of a second ahead of Umeshima. Then it's David Moore in 3rd, Luke Harvey 4th, Marlon McMullen 5th, Brian Borg in 6th, Brady Mize in 7th, a quarter of a second separating those top 7 drivers. Riley Blythe in 8th, Michael Taliancic in 9th, And Brett Loxton in 10th, only 4 tenths behind.
In 11th, we have Greg Sharp, 12th, Wayne Burke, 13th, Thomas Hinds, 14th, Zach Baker, 15th is Mark Samuel, 16th, Jason Cozzi, 17th, Corey Preston, 18th, Henry King, 19th, Mario Vlasic, and rounding out the top 20 is Jamie McKnight.
We've got David Miller, Braden Bateman, Simon Pitt, Sean Chappell, Aparati Putra, Sean Polden, Stephen Varga, Sergio Maro, and then the did not qualifiers in Dane Warren, Daniel Williams, and Todd Parks. The 31 drivers we will have in this race tonight. Around the amazing circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, 31 laps. There will be 2 pit stops required. The race will take around about 50 minutes or thereabouts. It's going to be a very, very interesting race. Strategy will be key tonight, making sure that you can get past those cars at the right opportune times, using the pit stops to your advantage, saving a bit of fuel if you can. Interesting to see what strategy game everyone plays in this one tonight. Just waiting on 1 or 2 drivers to take to the grid. I think Umashima might be the last one, and here we go. So revs are rising, 31 laps around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Round 6 of the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series is go, and a good jump at the front. Everyone's got away fairly cleanly. Back of the field.
Everybody's got the elbows out. On, Harvey's made contact with someone.
Oh, Harvey's around.
Hobson on. That's a big hit.
So Harvey in the fence.
And it's not over yet. There's a couple of guys still jostling for position, going 3 wide and all that. Looks like they've all made it through the first chicane by the looks of it.
That was messy at the front. The first part of the corner was okay, but oh, big contact between the redback car of Mark Samuel, and I believe that was Greg Sharp. We'll try and get a replay of the race start though. See if we can pick up and see what happened with Luke Harvey. Great start from Umashima, and then Hobson and Harvey just got together. Hobson held his line and around went Harvey. Hobson lost out big time from that too. He's dropped back to 10th position. And we'll see if we can pick up the incident between... Alright, it's not going to enable me to. We'll go back live. And we'll see that Umashima's actually dropped time. He's dropping back. He's cut the chicane. And he's gone from 1st to 5th down the front straight.
Yeah, that final chicane's a bit of a pain sometimes. You really have to be careful not to take too much curb because of the slowdown that you get, especially with the first lap, as it's a real killer.
So Umashima now in the 5th. David Moore leads the race now over Marlon McMullen, Riley Blythe and Brian Borg. Back in the field, David Miller, Zach Baker, and Luke Harvey working his way back through. He's made his way back up to 22nd. Greg Sharp's around though. Sharp's hit the fence too. The front of that car is fairly destroyed. We'll see if we can work out what's happened to him.
No, it actually looks like he's just done that on his own. Unfortunately, just throttled up slightly too much and it's rotated on him.
Had damage from previous incident, had Sharp. So it's actually a very, very easy spot for that sort of incident to happen too. So unfortunate for him. Mark Samuel, Mario Vlasic were side by side, and Samuel's got a terrible run out of the hairpin. And Thomas Hinds is going to come through up the inside, down the back straight. Going to get it done before the chicane.
Yes, very, very nice move. Very textbook, actually.
At the front two drivers have checked out a little bit of a gap. Back to Riley Blythe and David Moore. Big sideways moment at a turn 2 and under a lot of pressure from McMullen at the moment.
Yeah, that minor mistakes just cost them quite a bit of time, and that's the thing about this track. You can't really afford to make too many mistakes, as it does cost you quite a bit of time.
Oh, another big slide from Moore. So, bit of pressure being applied here from McMullen. And David Moore, Marlon McMullen going to go side by side into the hairpin. Very late under brakes as Moore, and he somehow pulled it up. But, bit of contact.
McMullen was actually very lucky to pull it up there. Struggling to pull it up with a bit of rear brake locking there as well. So, did very well to pull it up.
McMullen now's got the inside, and he's got the move done before we get to the chicane. So Marlon McMullen now leads this race. 3 laps in, 3 different leaders. 4 if you include Hobson, who had pole. What a start to this race.
Yeah, it's just absolutely gone off. There's been all sorts going on throughout the field, and we're only 4 laps in, so I can't wait to see what happens for the next 20-odd laps.
Just seeing Jason Cossey in the lane. Something's happened to him. He's pitting way out of sequence, so don't think I'm going to be able to find the incident that he has been involved in. But what the fighting between McMullen and Moore has done has enabled Riley Blythe to catch back up. He's broken away from Brian Borg back in 4th. We've got a real 3-car battle for the lead.
It's looking really racy as well. I would not be surprised if we see them make a move at some point very shortly.
It's not a bad thing being tucked in behind as well, because you can save a bit of fuel from the situation that Blythe is in right there. Brian Borg actually looks like he's starting to go with them as well, so even though Borg's got a couple of internet issues at the moment, he's actually sticking with these guys a little bit better than I was expecting. I'll tell you what, have a look at Dane Warren. Up the inside of Mario Vlasic he goes. He started in 30th position or 29th position. He's up to 13th in the first 4 laps of this race.
Yeah, he's driven very well to come through the field that quickly, so would not be surprised if he can get even further up through the field come the later part in the race.
A little bit of a battle pack forming behind Michael Taliancic with Hobson, Preston, Loxton not too far behind. They've stretched out a little bit, but they will probably close up again in the next few laps. But back up the front, McMullen's pulled a tiny little gap, and Riley Blythe is right on the tail of Moore to potentially look at getting a move done.
Yeah, and I think he might be getting held up a little bit here because Borg's actually closing up on this little pack, so Blythe's going to try and find a way by quickly, or they're going to be having a 4-way battle for the lead very shortly. As Blythe's actually just about pushing Moore through into the hairpin, actually.
Seeing Dane Warren on the timing sheets has just gone past Thomas Inns. If you do want to keep up to date with everything that's happening on the track, we do have our live timing available as always on our website, v8online.com/live-timing. Also live on MixLR Radio, mixlr.com/V8online-radio, where you can pick up an audio stream If you aren't able to sit and watch us, as you were saying, Cam, those guys behind in Borg and even Umashima, they're closing up on this 3-car battle for the lead. We'll see 5 cars fighting in the next couple of laps.
Yeah, we will, and it's going to be very interesting to have 5 cars battling for the lead. And looking at Blythe, he's going to try up the inside. No, he backs out of it and thinks better of it, actually. So Blythe is starting to get a bit impatient and a little bit of a slide there as well on the exit of the corner. So he's probably starting to use his tyres up a little bit here.
Now the top 5 separated by 3 seconds, so they are definitely closing behind. Have a look at the big gain under brakes Blythe gets into the hairpin. Just not quite able to take advantage and get the drive out though.
Yeah, that's probably one area where it needs to try and find a way to improve in, because getting down this long back straight, it's one thing you really want to get, and that's a good exit so you can try and get a move done at the end into the chicane.
We're seeing a bit of fighting back in the field. Henry King's just lost a spot to Zach Baker, so this is 19th and 20th on screen. But Henry King's got to run. Might look at getting a move done into the chicane. It's tucked out a bit early, so he's not going to be able to use that draft advantage. We go back to the front though, and McMullen's starting to check out a little.
Yeah, he has actually. He's pulled a little bit of a gap, and Borg's actually closed in quite a bit. So if Blythe wants to try and catch up to McMullen, he's going to have to try and find a way past Moore here at some stage.
So we're getting 2 real battle packs starting to form. The top 5 have broken away. Brady Myers is in 6th position, and he's starting to get a bit of a train form behind. Talyancic has caught up a fair bit, and there's 6 cars who are really going to be fighting for that 6th through to 11th in the next lap or 2. Myers, Talyancic, Hobson, Preston, Loxton, and Wayne Burke. And don't discount Dane Warren too. He's in 12th, and he's only 3 seconds behind Burke, but the fastest driver on the track at the moment is Warren.
Yeah, Warren's coming through the field fairly quickly, and that little battle pack with Myers and those guys, it's actually going to be very close. And with the fact that Myers has actually got a little bit of damage from that earlier contact on the first lap, it's not really going to help him too much in a straight line.
Intrigued by this battle between Moore and Blythe though. Blythe definitely has some pace, or has a pace advantage over Moore. He just can't capitalise in the right spots.
Yeah, he seems to be really struggling where it really matters most, so maybe needs to do something like play with his brake bias or his anti-roll bars or something, and just try and help him get that little bit extra of an advantage into those corners where he's struggling. Or Moore that had actually a bit of a lock up there, and it's really closed Blythe up here, and he could possibly make a move up the inside if he can get it done. He's going to look, and he's going to send it up the inside. Is he going to hope it?
Not quite. Moore had to
Moore's
take
run one, and he's managed to get up the inside and do the crossover.
Good move in the end. Surprised he actually got it done. Moore's actually got a slowdown from it. Saw Moore take a lot of grass on that second part of the corner, so I'm going to cut Price Racing replay of that from a bit of a different angle, because that was a pretty impressive move from Blythe to get that done.
Yeah, definitely a smart bit of driving there to see what Moore was doing and just capitalise on that minor mistake that he made.
And I was talking about Brady Myers. He's just been passed by Michael Talyancic into the chicane. And this is going to get messy in this pack now. Preston just got past Hobson at the exit. So we've seen 2 change of positions in that pack. in the last few seconds. We'll get a replay of the pass, Taliancic and Myers, as we start to see the pit lane light up with drivers taking to the pits already. Back live to the front, and Brian Borg's not making it easy for Blythe now that he's got through.
Yeah, he's right there, so going to be interested to see what happens here.
Just putting a little bit of pressure on. Just enough. The closing speed under brakes there for Borg. Not quite able to get a run out of the corner, but very, very good job under brakes of applying pressure.
Yeah, and applying pressure is all he needs to do at this stage. Doesn't need to really make any silly moves or anything. If Blythe does crack under pressure, he'll be able to take advantage of that. So,
And Umashima. Sorry, Umashima in the pits. So, breaking the sequence there. As is Hobson. And he's side by side with Loxton into the pit entrance. That was a bit different.
And he's got his teammate Wangberg just ahead of him as well. So, very interesting pit entry there from those guys.
And Hobson nearly got past Loxton under brakes there, coming into the pit.
Yeah, he did actually. It's
a bit
very
different.
close, actually. Yeah. Usually you try to do overtaking on the track or when you're leaving the box, not when you're entering the pit lane.
Any advantage you can get, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corey Preston's also got past Brady Myers. And as we were saying, Brady definitely will be down on speed with that damage from the lap 1 incident with Luke Harvey. Dane Moira now up into 8th position, obviously yet to make this pit stop.
He's actually closing it on the group ahead of him as well, so wouldn't be surprised if he can get by them in the next couple of laps.
She struggled to get the power down there, and oh, big moment just ahead for Brady Myers. And the pit lane is now lighting up. McMullen in, Blythe in, Moore in. And Myers and Warren come in as well.
Sims comes in as well.
Yep.
So does Vlasic.
Borg, Taliancic and Preston, the only drivers inside the top 10 before the start of the sequence who have stayed out. Nice quiet bit of track now for Brian Borg. He's out there all by himself. Just can do a lap or two. No pressure. No issues.
It's going to be a race off pit lane between Blythe and McMullen. They're side by side. They're actually inside each other, and Blythe's actually had to back out of it.
Oh, this is going to be messy. So this is for the effective race lead, depending on what happens with Borg. And Umashima's done a good job in the stop as well. He's closed up a bit of time and got ahead of David Moore. Oh, he was ahead of David Moore. I've just corrected myself there.
Blythe's actually got a good run here. Could possibly make a move up the inside, but he doesn't decide to and thinks better of it.
Oh, a little bit of a touch too. Brian Borg stayed out. Taliancic, Preston have come in. So Borg, the only driver to stay out by looks, as does David Miller, who's just ahead of this pack. So this is for the effective race lead between McMullen, Blythe and Umashima. This is a very, very good battle. In the pit stops as well, Hobson's managed to jump both Loxton and Taliancic, with Wayne Burke right on the tail of Taliancic now. And they've jumped a fair bit ahead of Brady Myers in those stops, because he is now under pressure from Dane Warren. And Borg out in front at the moment. He's got a 32-second lead. So pretty much the cycle time to come down the lane and make the stop is the lead that Borg has. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up when he comes out. Because McMullen, Blythe, Umashima, they are just coming through the hairpin now.
Yeah, and Borg's even yet to get in his box, actually. So I think these guys should clear Borg, although if they don't, it'll be very close.
Oh, Blythe! Oh, big moment! So Blythe will have a slowdown penalty from that.
Both of them do.
As does McMullen. So Umashima is going to come past. Blythe's gone past. McMullen's tucked in behind. So Umashima now leads. And Borg is just coming out of the lane now. He's going to come out just behind this pack, and we're going to have all 5 cars in this lead battle separated by about 1.5 seconds. There's nothing in it.
Absolutely nothing, and it's just gone off. And it'll only take one small mistake for the rest of the pack to pull away or take advantage.
That was a huge lock-up from Blythe, and I would not be surprised if McMullen saw that in his mirrors and got a little bit distracted, which caused his slowdown penalty. See if we can get a replay of that. Blythe looks like he might have got one wheel in the dirt, or his left-hand wheel's in the dirt. To go back live, Blythe and Umashima side by side. Blythe tried to send it. What a battle pack this is for the race lead.
And it's looking like Blythe's got another good run here. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to look to make a move up the inside, and he's going to do it. But Omashima's going to have the inside run for the next corner.
And McMullen might come back through and get a move done. And right on cue, Dane Warren's just set the fastest lap of the race in his pursuit. He's only 8 seconds behind these guys now. And have a look at Blythe's going to hold this position. He's going to take the lead.
On, McMullen's right in there. Side by side with Omashima now. This is going to be messy. Oh, that's very close. But McMullen's going to go up the inside and take second if he can hold on to it.
Oh, contact! McMullen's managed to hold on. He's tucking back into line. But he's going to have to hold on from Brian Borg. So we've now had 5 different leaders in this race. Wowee.
Yeah, it's been absolutely action-packed. I can't believe it's been happening in this quick so far.
We're not even halfway through as well. That's the amazing thing about this one.
Yeah, can't believe it.
Just behind, Brett Loxton has a very angry pack of cars behind him. We've got Loxton, Taliancic, Burke and Warren. Drag race into the final chicane. They're going to go 2 by 2 under brakes.
There we go.
Warren's got through.
It's going to be audacious.
Oh,
Oh, Warren's actually going to get
Warren's getting 2 in 1. And he's got to run. So
3 in 1.
Warren's now up to 8th and closing. He's now only 7.5 seconds behind our race leaders. The pace that he has got at the moment working through the field, he will be there with them at the end of the race.
Yeah, well, so it just goes to show how much pace he's got.
In saying that, have a look at the gap that Riley Blythe has pulled since he's taken the race lead.
Yeah, he's pulled quite a gap at this stage.
Something happened to Taliancic as well. We'll just try and pick up a replay of what happened to him because he dropped right out of that battle pack he was in.
Oh, he had massive contact with Thomas Hinds there through the first chicane.
Yeah.
Just hold it as well.
I think he actually got a slowdown penalty from the chicane and he only just... Oh! Big hit. So lucky not to roll it, as you said. But, yeah, that was quite huge. So we go back live to the front. McMullen putting pressure on David Moore. And Blythe out to 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, so Blythe's well and truly checked out at this stage.
So it's Blythe, Umashima, Moore, McMullen and Borg, your front 5. Next pack of cars is Hobson, Warren, Burke, Preston and Loxton. That is your top 10 as it stands right now. Top 10, 10 seconds. Not much separating them all. That lap around for Riley Blythe, a 136.8. Dane Warren, a 136.9. See a little bit compromised with making moves. So we'll see this lap around what lap time comparison it is between those two as we approach the half race distance. Oh, big
Moore
slide, Moore!
Oh, he's just held onto it though.
So McMullen up to 3rd, Borg up into 4th, and Moore drops back into 5th now.
Now Hobson and Warren aren't too far behind as well.
And have a look at how close Warren is to Hobson. The last time I checked, there was 2 seconds separating those two. There's nothing between them now, so Hobson's made a little bit of a mistake, and he's dropped back to Warren. Oh, big moment for Warren too.
Oh, and he's had another moment actually. I think he's got a slowdown.
Yeah, he's got a slowdown penalty from the chicane. He was hoping he could serve it.
Massively.
We'll get a replay and see if we can pick up if that is the case.
No, I think he's actually got damage. I think he's actually clipped the outside wall. Yeah, because he's coming into pit lane.
There you go. I was wondering why the car was very, very unsettled. Should pick it up on this angle here.
He's absolutely clouted the wall, exiting the second chicane.
See if we can get a shot of it. Oh, yep, there we go. So that's the end of that run. He's actually out of the race, so he is gone. You could see from the way that he was struggling to control the car there how much trouble he was having. As we go back live, Corey Preston under pressure from Wayne Burke. This is now 7th and 8th. Burke looked to send it up the inside the second chicane, not able to do it.
Well, he's got a good run here actually, so might be able to get done at the hairpin.
Long way around to try and do it around the outside at the hairpin, but what it can do, it can actually give you a better exit because you have the throttle planted a little bit earlier, and look at the advantage that that has given Burke down this back straight. They are side by side into the chicane. Move done for Burke.
Yeah, very good move. Oh, but Preston's got a good run here. He's going to get him back up the inside. Oh, and Burke's moving over. That was very close. But Preston's going to go up the inside, but he's going to be on the outside for turn 2. Is he going to hold it around the outside? Looks like he's going to. Oh, struggling for power down the traction. Both of them are. And he's going to hold it still.
Great driving from these guys. Oh, Preston
big locker.
Just put 2 wheels in the dirt, locked it up. He's held on to it though. He's going to maintain that spot. So Burke now back up to 7th position. Preston drops back to 8. Now has pressure from Loxton and Hinz. Up the front, Blythe and Umashima has gone with Blythe. McMullen's dropped off. And Riley Blythe now starting to feel a little bit of pressure from behind from Umashima.
Yeah, that pace from Umashima's actually come out of nowhere. I'm not sure whether Blythe's made a mistake at some point, but that gap's really closed in, actually.
Brian Borg, David Moore side by side as well into the chicane. Not quite able to get it done is Moore. And that's enabling Hobson to close up on those guys as well. So we're seeing battles forming everywhere. And the battle for the lead is on once again. So will Blythe be able to hold on? Saw Umashima take an earlier pit stop the first round of stops. Will they pit at the same time this time? Will Umashima pit 1 lap earlier again? I think
Theoretically want to try and go later for the fresher tyres, but don't know.
Do you go earlier and get the fresh tyre advantage and get the undercut? I'm glad I'm not trying to work it out because it's giving me an ice cream headache thinking about it. But Umashima moves over a little bit to let Blythe know, I'm here. I'm ready to take advantage. We start the 20th lap of this race. McMullen is the first to jump. He is in the lane to make his second and final stop. Burke also in the lane, as is Mark Samuel. So we've got a couple of drivers in to make their final stop in this earlier phase. Thomas Hinz has just got past Brett Loxton as well. So Hinz has moved up now into 7th position. Oh, Loxton, big moment. That was close to clouding the wall for Loxton. But Umashima, he's been the one that's had the best pace in this stint. That lap around a 37.2 versus 37.3 for Blythe. Compare that to pretty much everyone else in the field. The only driver faster than Umashima was Brenton Hobson.
That's quite interesting, actually.
We know Hobson had pace, obviously starting in pole position, and both into the lane come Blythe and Umashima. Borg in as well. Borg's going to have a very short stop here too, because remember, he only pitted 7 laps ago. So Borg could jump both of them here in this stop. Preston continues on. Hinz, Loxton both in the lane. Brady Myers also coming in. Talyancic, Baker. Vlasic has continued. As does Williams by the looks. No, Williams in as well. So Preston's the driver that has continued on with Vlasic. And we'll see how Marlon McMullen comes out of this with that one lap earlier stop.
Blythe's going to jump him. He's jumped him.
Yep.
Oh, and Borg's also jumped him.
Yeah, so Borg only a 12-second stop. Borg's had the big win out of this. And McMullen is going to come out right behind Borg. Umashima, a very long stop. 20-second stop for Umashima. He's coming out behind McMullen. So Blythe now your effective race leader. From Brian Borg in second. Effective second. Marlon McMullen effective third. Umashima fourth. And Moore fifth.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Umashima's stop was actually longer. I'm not sure whether he had to take on more fuel or what happened.
Shouldn't have really needed to. So, yeah, a bit surprising that it was as long as it was. 20.2 second stop for Umashima. Obviously, we know Borg a lot shorter stop because of the very long first stint. He only had a 12.9 second stop. So, a good stop for Brian Borg. Fastest stop out of the entire field. So, that's where you see the big advantage for Brian Borg. And he's had some pretty good pace, so he could start to challenge Riley Blythe as we approach 10 laps to go in this one.
He's been pumping out some pretty decent times at this point in the race, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. And it looks like Omashima in the background is actually possibly going to get a move done on McMullen at some stage because he's looking very racy.
Just watching Talyancic and Brady Myers side by side into the hairpin. Talyancic holds on to that position from Brady Myers. Those guys have been battling all race. So we go back to Umashima, putting a lot of pressure on McMullen.
Looks like Omashima's trying to fill McMullen's mirrors at the moment, just going to each side of the track, just trying to make him think where he's going to go.
So there are a couple of drivers who have not made their second pit stop. David Miller, Sean Chappelle, and Putra, the only drivers who have not made their second and final stops. Now, having a look up the inside here, Umashima thought about lunging up at the last second, but not quite able to do it. Oh, he's going to go. Yep, sending it up the inside at the chicane, and he's looking like he's pulled it up quite well. So McMullen drops back to fourth. Up to third position now is Kazuki Umashima. We start 9 laps to go. But interesting, fastest lap of the race just then from Brian Borg. So you can't discount Borgie from potentially taking the win away from Riley Blythe here.
No, so this is going to be very interesting to see how this develops over the next few laps.
And they've just checked out from that battling pack between Umashima and McMullen. About 3.5 seconds separate Borg and McMullen now. He was 0.2 quicker that lap from Riley Blythe as well. Umashima's cleared out from McMullen too since he's gone past. Gap between Umashima and McMullen is out to 0.8 of a second. You can see how much he's pulled on this lap.
Yeah, he's pulled away quite a bit actually, so he could even possibly catch up to the guys ahead and possibly challenge for the win again.
That time around, Blythe, a 1:36 to a 1:36.9 for Borg. So that advantage that he got on that last lap around, all gone on this one.
And Omashima's actually gone 4/10 quicker than Borg that last lap as well, so going to be interesting to see what happens.
Mario Vlasic battling with Michael Taliantic. Actually a little bit thrown by Vlasic's car. It's normally fluoro orange. It's now a mustard colour. Threw me a little bit. Battle back in the field as well. Daniel Williams, Henry King. We saw Henry battling earlier with Zach Baker. He's now battling with Daniel Williams a couple of spots further back. They're going at it quite aggressive at the moment, which is good to see. Field is also cleansed, so everyone has now opted for their final stop.
It's looking like Vlasic has actually managed to get by Taliantic now.
Yep. I'm not surprised considering how much damage there is on both Taliantic and Myers' cars. They have not looked healthy since lap 1, those two cars.
No, they haven't really.
At this point of the race, the field has settled quite a lot. But I think it's only going to be for the next lap or two before we see a real 3-car battle for the lead. That lap around a 37 flat for Blythe, a 36.6 for Borg, so 4/10 quicker, and a 36.3 for Umashima. 7/10 quicker than the leader was Umashima that lap around. And another battle brewing, 5th and 6th between Moore and Hobson. 8/10 quicker was Hobson that lap around, and he's right on the tail now of his teammate in Moore.
Yes, so Hobbo's definitely got some serious pace at the moment.
Hobson, the fastest driver on track that lap around. 10th quicker than Umashima, and 8/10 quicker than Moore and Blythe. So we may see Hobson and Moore battle quite aggressively in the next little while. And Hobson might actually be close enough to make a move here. Later on the brakes, move done. So, not surprised there in that move being done quite easily, considering their teammates. Hobbo would have said, hey, I'm quicker, let me through. And Dave would have said, yep, go for it. They'll both work together to try and hunt down the lead pack, which now Riley Blythe has Brian Borg only 1.2 seconds behind. Oh, Corey Preston's around. Preston is facing the wrong direction at the final chicane and now has a lot of damage to that car.
Oh, it's looking like there was a bit of contact between himself and Vlasic, and that's not really ended too well.
It looks like that damage has happened earlier as well because he'd already been missing the boot. There's 2 bits of contact there between Preston and Vlasic, and I'm wondering if there was something more to that. There's a further part to that story. No, not sure. Change for the lead though. While we're watching that, we've seen a change for the lead. Brian Borg now leads this race.
Yeah, he does. I'm not sure what's happened there. I think Blythe's got a slow down, but Blythe's going to try up the inside again. Try to take the lead, but he's not going to be able to do it. So not sure what's happened in the past half a lap or so, but
Yeah, it looks like Blythe had got a slowdown out of the second chicane. And Borg just went through up the inside at the hairpin. And these two guys are now going at it for the race lead. As I'm just saying on the timing, there's another change of position. Blythe is now back in the lead again.
yeah, Blythe's just managed to get by Borg, but Borg's trying everything to try and get the lead back.
Another replay of that on the screen. A little bit of contact, not without a little bit of rubbing and elbows out. And good to see some very hard fighting. And Umashima's not far off catching these guys now too.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see a three-way fight in a couple of laps.
And there's only 4.5 left. Oh, Borg very, very deep. Somehow pulled it up. And Umashima's only a second behind these guys now.
Blythe just actually hit the wall there.
Oh!
And Borg's going to send it up the inside. He's back sent and looks like he's delivered it. No, not quite. Blythe's actually managed to get the run.
Drag race into the final chicane, and there'll be 4 laps to go. What this will do as well, Umashima will be getting double draft from these guys. And he's going to be right there. Oh, this is going to be messy. They're going to look at going too wide. Oh, big sideways moment. It's not over. Top 3 now under a second. It is well and truly on. And in the background, McMullen's just got a slowdown. He was starting to catch. And all that advantage he was getting is gone as well. Oh, big
Blythe
bump.
pushing him.
Oh, and almost contact as Blythe comes back to cover from Umashima.
I say put your seatbelts on because we're about to get one hell of a show here.
This is going to be a fascinating finish. We've got 4 laps to go. And I don't believe any of these drivers have won a Monday night main race. I may be corrected on that, but I don't think from memory that any of these drivers have ever won a main Monday night race. Oh, big moment. Oh. Blythe almost into the wall again. Nice and settled this time. Through the final hairpin. Get your breath because I've got 3 laps to go when they cross the line. And Borg going the ultra defensive line. Oh, Blythe so close to that outside wall.
He's trying everything to try and close that gap up, including using every inch of this racetrack.
Just getting a quick Cut Price Racing replay of an incident back in the field. Jamie McKnight facing the wrong direction. Unfortunately, looks like he's done that on his own. We go back live to the front. Brian Borg, Riley Blythe, Kazuki Umashima, 1, 2, 3 in this race. And it's absolutely anyone's race at the moment too.
Yeah, there's just nothing between it with these 3. One small mistake is all it's going to take.
And the tyres will be absolutely shot as well, so be very, very easy for these guys to make a mistake. Umashima having a look. Not quite close enough to get a move done. I thought Borg was going to run wide there, but he somehow managed to pull it up. What a race this has turned into. Two to go now. In the background, you can see McMullen has Hobson starting to close in right on his tail now too, but we'll stick with the 3 leaders because this is still anyone's race. What a race it has been. You can hear how ginger they are on the throttle. They're so gentle.
I think Omashima actually hit that inside wall
Yeah,
there.
I think so too. I heard it from the onboard then. So, possibly has hit the wall. And Brian Borg having his internet issues as well, which is not the time or the place to have that happen. These guys have, well, the front 2 guys have done a great job moving through the field as well. Borg's started 6th, he's in the lead. Blythe started 8th, up into 2nd. Umashima obviously started 2nd as we saw. But it is not over as we approach the white flag. This time around it will be the final lap of this race. And I am not willing to call it at all. This is going to be fantastic. Umashima's run a little bit wide through turn 2, a very, very different line, and it's compromised his exit through 2. But Blythe, great drive, managed to hold on to the back of Brian Borg.
He's got a good run as well. Borg's going to have to go defensive.
Little bit of a touch.
He's given a bit of touch. Oh, and we struggled for a bit of power down traction there. Now Omashima's come right back into this. Oh, big slide from Blythe. Borg's going to go defensive. Oh, Omashima had a look. They're running out of corners.
Blythe's got a run here.
Blythe's got it. Borg's going to be defensive and Omashima's going to go around the outside. He's going to be stuck. What's going to happen? He's
Oh, Blythe, a little bit of a touch into the back of
Borg's
Borg.
gone wide. Now Omashima's going to try and go around the outside of Blythe.
Contact!
Contact!
And Borg's come back through. So Borg looks like he's going to win this race. Umashima is in 2nd. Blythe in 3rd. Wowee. Borg's just going to hold on for this final chicane. I thought he was gone when he got shuffled a little bit wide. He's made it through. And it looks like no slowdown penalty. Brian Borg will come across the line and win round 6 at Montreal. What an absolutely amazing race we have seen tonight. Wowee, what a finish to that one.
Absolutely awesome. No words for that.
Still on back in the field. A few drivers still jostling for position. Just seeing 2 slightly beaten up cars. Jamie McKnight and Corey Preston. Preston in that.
Sharp's out of fuel.
He's 2. It's unfortunate for him. McKnight's going to get Preston. And Greg Sharp, who was one of the drivers that pitted a lap earlier than everyone else, he's going to come home in 26th position by the looks. But what a race that was tonight. That was one of the most fantastic races we have had in this series. Big congratulations to Brian Borg. What a race that was.
Yeah, an absolutely awesome one. Just full of action the whole way through, and it came right down to the last lap. So, yeah, absolutely awesome, and well done to Brian Borg on the win. That was an absolutely awesome drive.
Top 3 separated by 1.6 seconds in the end. Brian Borg by a second over Kazuki Umashima. Then Riley Blythe in 3rd. Marlon McMullen 4th. Bretton Hobson came home in 5th. David Moore held on for 6th. Wayne Burke in 7th. Great drive from Thomas Hinds to move up through the field to finish in 8th position. Brett Loxton in 9th. And Zach Baker rounds out the top 10.
In 11th, we have Brady Moyers, followed by Mario Vlasic in 12th. 13th goes to Michael Taliancic. 14th, Mark Samuel. 15th, Daniel Williams. 16th, Henry King. 17th, Jamie McKnight. 18th, Corey Preston. 19th, Brandon Bateman. And rounding out the top 20 is Stephen Varga.
And then we've got Sean Chappell in 21st. David Miller 22nd. Then Jason Cossey, Simon Pitt, and Afitri Putra. Rounding out the drivers on the lead lap. Greg Sharp, as we saw, ran out of fuel, but did cross the line to finish in 26th. 27th goes to Sean Polton, and then the DNFs of Dane Warren, Sergio Maro, Todd Parks, and Luke Harvey. The 31 drivers in this race tonight, but what a race it was. One of the best we have seen in this series for a very, very long time. This series really delivers each and every week in the iRacing official V8 Supercars.
Absolutely. It's just action every time. There's always got to be something happening in this series, and it's awesome to see. So, yeah, going to be very interesting to see what happens next week, and I can't wait for it.
Yep, next week we will be at Road Atlanta, of course, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. V8s at Road Atlanta for the V8 Scops final endurance race of the season. There on Saturday night for qualifying, race for the grid, and Sunday we will have the coverage of the 500-kilometre co-driver race, and of course Monday night will be there as well for the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series. Really looking forward to that. As we said, another great week of racing. Cam, thank you very much for jumping in the booth, and I think you're rather happy that you did.
Yeah, actually, it was actually quite a very, very interesting race. So, yeah, it was actually quite good to jump in the box. I haven't actually commentated with V8s online for a bit now, after about a week off. So, yeah, actually good to jump in the box again.
Yeah, we'll see you on Saturday night for... Well, we'll actually see you Thursday night for the MX5 series.
Yes.
Which I can't even remember where we are for that, so we'll work that out. Wing it until you make it. Fake it till you make it. Snedderton, that's right. Snedderton 300 for that, and we got the Oceanic Sprint Championship as well on Wednesday night, and don't ask me where that is because I don't know either. Forgotten where that is.
I believe that's at Snetterton as well.
I believe you're right. So Snedderton and Road Atlanta will be our homes for this week. But thank you one and all for tuning in this week to our coverage of the iRacing official V8 Supercar Series. Cam, thank you again. As I just said, we will be back Wednesday night here for the Oceanic Sprint Championship. Thank you very much for joining us. Your winner tonight, Brian Borg.